Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. We're still on the 32 sword form, but we're 23 movements in now. We're doing Comet Chases the Moon. This is also referred to as turn and cut down, or flying star chases the moon. This is an overhead movement, so again they reference the celestial heavens on this particular one. And we've come from the previous movement on here where we push the boat against the current and transitioning into Comet Chases the Moon. So watch the demonstration and then we'll talk about the detailed instructions from there. Let's do it from the other angle so you get a different perspective. So this movement changes. You're going from this direction, still on your line, but 180 degrees in the other direction. The movement here is a piercing down. We're then going to turn the sword and cut down. This is one of the few times that we're actually doing a vertical cut as opposed to a strike or a thrust. So this one here comes down and cuts. The application here, cutting. There is a separation of the hands here. So much like in the Taiji, there's a balance to the actual movement, but we're coming from here. We're going to shift the weight, close this foot, bring the foot into transition, and then step back and out with this. You're ending up in a mountain climbing stance, cutting again in the other direction. So you went 180 degrees coming from this direction to that direction. So our transition here, as you bring the weight in, you're going to turn and twist the body slightly. This allows you to close the leg here. It was already in an empty stance, so putting it down here, you need to then transfer the weight over as you do the transition. Now, your hands are here, so as you bring it in, shift to turn, you come into a transition stance here, and then, much like fan through the back, both hands need to end up at the same pace and striking down. Sword hand, sword. From here to here. Again, just like fan through the back, and that's a very good reference point to this one. Blade vertical, cutting down in this direction. You're actually cutting down through something. So you're going from here to here with this, and from here to here with the hands. Common mistakes is really a transition of weight and referencing sort of how you're stepping. Again, we're going on the line, we're in an empty stance here. Now, if I just turn around with my feet, I'm too straight here. I'm still on the line, my feet aren't properly positioned. So my transition has to take into account a transition stance and a step back and slightly. If you look at it from the other direction, here's my empty stance. In order to turn 180 degrees, I don't want to turn like this because I'm on the line. But if I go from here, I transition, I bring my foot in, I open my hips and I step, and I come through. Now I'm in a good mountain climbing stance here, and then cutting forward. So I'm leaning slightly on there. You want that to be properly balanced with this. If it's here, it's still an effective cut, but you're off balance. So you want to make sure that you step out and back. So this little bit of a transition, like we see in other movements, gives us that ability to step freely through them. Again, other common mistakes, the separation here, it's not chop with this one and then remember to do this one, or looking at it from this direction, it's not here, here, it's not here, here, it's here. So that tip has got to turn with the wrist, and you want that tip to be down at the same time this finger points out. So you'll have to practice that a few times here. Here's the stopping point. Also with the weight, when you transition here and you're stepping out, boom, there's the end. You see? I know the other hand's out here too. But for this particular side, when you step here, it needs to stop at the same time. You want that transition. It's a vertical cut. So don't turn it the wrong way. It is one of the few times, like I said, that we're coming over at a 90-degree cut down and cutting right through the center. Look at it from this direction again. From here, shift, pull in, step out, weight shift. Okay? Again, the weight has to end at the same time that you transition. So when the leg weight shifts, the arm continues, the tip cuts through at the same time. That's how you maximize the power through there. So just keep those coordinated through that particular movement. Other common mistakes we'll see with this one as you're going through, your attention here is towards the cut. So you're not looking this way. You're not twisting yourself either. You don't want to turn this so hard that you feel your shoulder tense up. It's as natural as you go through. Again, those of you that practice Tai Chi with this too, fan through the back is a perfect example where the hands come through and separate at the same pace. This is the mode that you want to keep with here, and those are some of the common mistakes that we see with everybody. So let's talk about the application here with this particular movement, and we'll do it in this direction so you kind of see. So here, I've pierced in, I now need to transfer, and I need to come back the other direction. Relatively straightforward here. I just need to turn, so I'm going to transition my weight, shift, turn, step, and come down. My application here is an attack towards the back. Someone is rushing in from this direction. I've handled the person in this direction and now turning and coming down and cutting through. So balance here, power, cut through here, make it slow but with purpose. So cutting down vertically, this is a slash towards the top of the head. Your sword ends up parallel with the arm, same height level. Don't bring it down too far, don't leave it up too high. You're cutting down, that's the application. It is a cut, vertical, slicing through the opponent. So the before and after movement on this one, we have the boat pushing against the current here to here, transitioning through this movement to here. This is Comet Chases the Moon. This is the 23rd. And then we're going to shift over here, and then we're going to turn 90 degrees to the front, and boom, Heavenly Horse gallops across the sky is the next movement. So that's your transition of those movements. Boat pushes through the current, pushes against the current, and then turn, Comet Chases the Moon, and then forward, and horse gallops across the sky. That would be movement number 24. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for watching. Thanks for practicing. I think you'll see as this goes along, the movements are a little bit more instinctive. They're a little easier to comprehend because you've gotten all those good fundamentals out of there and moved through. As I said earlier in the movements, the first sequence I think is one of the hardest ones because you're just getting used to the sword. Now it's becoming old hat. You're practicing your Qigong. You've gone through the tips and tricks on how to handle a sword. You get the feeling. It's actually now part of an extension of your wrist. So the cuts and the turns and all that kind of stuff are very instinctive. That's due to your practice. That's not due to anything that I've done. I'm just giving you the hints on how to practice this better. So keep doing what you're doing. We're almost through the third section, and then we'll move to the fourth section, and then we'll put it all together, and we'll practice every day, and we'll see how beautiful this form can actually be. So thanks for watching.